Welcome back to The Thread. I'm so excited you are here with me again. Listen, it's such an honor and a joy to host an amazing podcast that gives parents resources. Once again, like I always tell y'all, we're not the source. We're a resource for parents, right? And The Thread is intentionally designed to resource parents and families of next gen, whether your child is 18 weeks or 18 years old. It gives you tools that are needed to be better parents and to build strong families, all right? And we don't want you to miss any phase of your child's life. We want you to be presently walking with your child in every phase of their life. And I'm so excited that this platform gives us the opportunity to do just that. So today, I got two friends with me, but before I bring in my two friends, because they're absolutely amazing people. I got my boy Austin and I have Lauren. They're here and they're wonderful parents. They also serve with me here at Concord Church. We're all on the same team, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But before we get there, I want you guys to focus in on our parent impact moment. So, every episode we choose a parent that we highlight just to show love to and let them know that we support everything they're doing. And so I got to make sure I get my little nephew's name right, so this person is like a staff sister to me. Like we bond, we connect. And it's Delisha Huff here on our staff here at Concord. She is in our marketing department and she's like super dope. And she has three amazing boys and one on the way. So Brendan, Braylon, and Brandon. So I got it, Brendan, Braylon, and Brandon. Right, they are absolutely amazing, a lot of fun, but she's an amazing mom. So she works hard, she gives it all she has, and so Delisha is our impact parent for today. So sis, you're not only a great coworker, but you're also a great mother and a great person, and I'm honored to get to know you and for us to do life and work together. So you're pretty dope. All right, so that's our impact parent. And so I want to read you guys something real quick. Sarah Bragg, one of my favorite article writers, and she's a blogger for Parent Q. Once again, I'll put this link on the resource page. You go to concorddallas.org/the thread, and you'll have this link there. That's where we do all our resources. So whatever I talk about, whatever I reference, whatever our guest references, you can go to this resource page, and hopefully it's been helping you. All right, so Sarah Bragg, one of my favorite bloggers, she wrote an article on Parent Q, how motherhood and parenthood is a relationship, not a calling. It's a relationship, not a calling. And she writes an article, she says, the problem is that when we view raising our kids as a job, we automatically negate the parent who doesn't have a choice to stay home. And we diminish their role as a mother or as a parent. And so what about the women, or what about the parents who want to have kids more than anything but aren't able to? Are they less valuable? Did they miss their ultimate calling? Will they never experience the greatest meaning in life? The Christian community has elevated staying home with the kids by saying that those who choose to stay home recognize the value of their kids. But wouldn't you say that those who choose or don't have a choice to work also value their kids? I think it's a great conversation. So she writes a very great article on that. So I'll make sure I post it on the resource page. Once again, it's concorddallas.org/the thread, and all the good articles and stuff on there. Okay. So make sure you go check that out. But I told y'all I had some people here. And we're gonna have a good conversation. Today's show is called A Whole New World. Every parent that's listening to the podcast, that watches the podcast, the reason why you're here listening is because the world you're in is absolutely new. For some of y'all, it's chaotic. For some of you, it's the most beautiful thing. And for a lot of us, it's like, what are we doing, right? So the thread is here to give resources to make sure we do this thing right and we maximize each phase of our kids' life. So you've seen episodes with just me. You've seen episodes with other guests. But today, the guests I have today are people who I get a chance to do life and do ministry with. And they're also amazing parents. So on the show with me today, I have Austin and I have Lauren. They are here. And so those of y'all who are watching, you see their beautiful faces. Those of you who are listening, you get a chance to hear their voices. So first question, how is it working with Pervy?
Pastor Pervy, Brother Pervy.
Oh, man. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about
Another podcast.
Because here it is, y'all. Like Austin can give you like 6 months worth of information, but this one right here can go all the way back almost 13 years.
So
I met Austin. Both of us came into Concord at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I work at the same time, two different capacities, but start working at the same time. But I've been knowing Lauren since Lauren was a teenager. And so y'all, Lauren didn't like me. Like Austin.
Wow.
She couldn't stand me. She
Wow.
couldn't stand me. She was the kid that liked to have everything her way.
I was 15. Hey.
And so we cultivated a relationship with her and her family. And so it's been dope ever since. And the Lord has brought her here to Concord. So we're all on the same team. So we all serve, Lauren and I serve the complete next gen department. And Austin is our student pastor. And so he does a great job. Lauren does a great job keeping us all together. But today we're here as parents.
Yep.
Right.
And so we're going to talk about like this world that we're in with our crazy little ones, right? Our little people.
Yeah.
And that's what they are, their personalities, right? And so like Lauren, you have two.
I have two little boys. Joshua, he's 3. And Josiah, he is 7 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That new parent life.
Yeah,
Right.
all over again. Yeah.
And Austin, how old are your kids?
So I have one baby boy, Major. I just finished my rookie year, y'all. He's 15 months, and my wife and I are having another baby boy in February. So we're excited.
Yo, like I'm going to talk to the editors, and I got to catch. We got to find some kind of way to show this video when Jamila told Austin she was pregnant. With me. Like, yo, so Austin always has something to say, right? On this video, she gave like a card.
Yeah, it was a card that had like this long paragraph. You know, my wife, she's always long, explaining things. So I'm reading it, and then I read it. Yeah. And I was just speechless, bro.
Yeah.
It just caught me off guard. We just had birthday dinner, and it's just something I wasn't.
Like he was done.
Yeah.
Like Lauren, you had to see, like he couldn't say nothing.
Yeah.
The whole video, his mouth was just open, like you for real. So
I was like, babe.
So men, we have this reactions when we hear about our kids, you know, the inception of them and all that good stuff. Like, what's a woman's first like? What is your first reaction when you know you're pregnant? Like, what is that?
I'm probably different from everybody else, but I was first one. I was super duper scared. I kind of knew that I was pregnant because I was acting real different, real weird, mad about donuts. I was teaching at the time. Somebody didn't want to share donuts, like just crazy stuff. And my husband kept saying, "You're pregnant, so you know we want to brunch. Oh, please make her a mocktail." I'm like, "No, there's no way. There's no way you could even know that." And then 2 weeks later, I find out, and he's just making eggs in the kitchen. I'm throwing up because I don't like the eggs. And I'm like, "Babe, it came out positive." And he's like, "Well, I already knew that."
Wow.
And I'm on the bathroom floor, like, terrified. Terrified.
So, like, what terrified you the most?
I guess because I just didn't think right then.
Got you.
It was not a planned out pregnancy. We knew we wanted kids, but we wanted to wait like a year or so. Yeah, it just happened like real fast.
Yeah.
But I guess after like the first few months, then it became like real, and I was super duper excited because I was having a baby with my best friend.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing.
Your best friend, who's your husband?
Who is my husband?
You know, people
My
listening.
best friend. He's my husband, y'all. So yeah, and then my second one, it was COVID, baby. And I was just like, okay, let's just roll with it. Like this is, but again, I was super excited. I feel like every single time that we conceived, God increased us. So I wasn't really worried about anything. And so we were excited. I mean, that initial, I wrote something for my husband. I knew he wasn't going to read it. Like I wrote it, I was like, he's not even going to read it because he's going to like skim through and be like, see
to the
at
end,
the
right?
end.
Yep.
And I was like, please read it. And he just did this. And then congratulations. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
We went to go play tennis and ran, and then after that we were like, okay, let's go. Like we having another one.
See, the beautiful thing about the thread, like we have conversations with parents in every stage, right? So my twins are 7. Major is 15 months. Jamila's pregnant with another child. You and Josh have 2 little ones. So Deuce is 3, and Josiah. Yeah, I'm getting good. I'm getting good.
Yeah.
It's young. And so here it is. Like, it's the stage that we're in. So I'm out of the small baby stage that y'all are in, but my kids are still young. So I think that they really don't start changing till like around 10. that's when they start, distancing from you a little bit. But now they're still my baby. I still pick my kids up and swing them around, right? And so, but here's the thing. I can't remember what life was like before my kids, and they just been here 7 years.
I can't.
But I can't remember what life is like. So it's like, can y'all remember like what was free time? Do you remember what free time was?
I think it's easier for me to remember because I had a pandemic baby as well. So it's like right before everything started happening, everything's changing. Major wasn't here, and he was born in June. So it's like, okay, things are different now. So it's like before the pandemic, Major wasn't here. During and after the pandemic, we've been parents. We don't know how to be parents outside of a pandemic.
Got you.
Wow,
so let's talk about that a little bit. We're gonna go left and come back right because that's not on my notes, but I love it. So coming out of the pandemic, you're a parent. Before the pandemic, you weren't.
Right. So
how did that shell shock?
Shell shock, but it was like one of those things like this is all we know. So we for a while, Major didn't go to the playgrounds and hang out with other kids. We weren't having family come to visit freely. We weren't traveling. We weren't taking them out to the store, and we were home with them. That was one of the biggest blessings. Me working home for an entire year with my baby boy. Just being there. Working full time, being a daddy full time. Just being around him until I started working at Concord. Now I'm back in person. So now, after he turns 1 year old, now he sees daddy, maybe a little bit in the morning, and then maybe not before he goes to bed. But it's just been interesting. I just think back, and me and my wife are like, wow, like before we were parents, we used to go hang out, we used to do all these things, X, Y, and Z, and now after things are still just starting to change and be different. So Austin and Jamila kind of became parents during the pandemic, so they're trying to figure stuff out coming out of it. But you and Josh were parents before the pandemic, and then little man came, during the pandemic?
During pandemic.
So how was that?
It was hard for me.
Okay.
Because Deuce Joshua is his name, Junior, but he got to experience a lot as a kid. Taking him to the aquarium, going to the zoo, family over all the time. I had a really rough second pregnancy, and having to wear the mask and trying to figure out what life is going to be like now with everything was new. So to me, I was kind of upset that he was coming into the world and having to experience that. But someone told me that I needed to look at it differently because it was the only thing that he would know. He didn't know anything before we were in mask and in the house. Like, he's coming into the world as it is. So to him, it's going to be normal.
Right.
So I had to kind of change my perspective on that a little bit. And he's a baby. He doesn't really know, anyways. And so it was, at the beginning, it was rough for me. I like going out to eat, and Deuce loves going out to eat and putting his order in. So I just kept being like, how's this going to be for Josiah? But it's been, I feel like, just being safe with the kids, it's different.
Yeah.
But again, he doesn't know anything different.
Right. It's crazy how what's abnormal to us is normal to our kids, right?
Right.
And sometimes we put a lot on them. Like, we put unbearable and expectations they can't meet, right? Because they're kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget that our kids are kids. So parents, real quick, just remember, your babies are babies.
Yeah.
and this is a phase of their life that neither one of you will ever get back. Like, they won't ever be a baby again, and you won't ever have a chance to baby them again, right? So spoil them now, like love on them now, right? And so being a parent, I know what surprised me the most about being a parent. Like, I didn't know that I knew as much as I did. Like, one thing that surprised me about being a parent is I remember that I'm the youngest out of several grandkids on both sides of the family. And so I have a lot of older cousins that had kids before I had kids. And so I remember them having kids. I remember holding them. I remember being around them and interacting with them. Right. And so, but I didn't pay attention to it until I had kids. I'm like, oh, I'm changing diapers like it ain't nothing.
Right.
Like I'm burping like
this.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good. You know, like this is easy for me. So what is one thing that surprised y'all about like parenting? Like one thing like you shocked yourself, like dang, like I actually know how to do this.
Well, first I'll say I was like the opposite of you. I was the youngest boy in my family. So I remember my best friend had a son, and that was like the first infant I ever held. He came several months before Major, but it was crazy to me. It's like after my wife gave birth, she was a mother, like boom, automatically, like latching and just natural. Me, I'm looking like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to change this diaper? How am I supposed to hold him? How am I supposed to burp him?
Right.
And didn't really know these things, but one thing I learned that surprised me is that I'm very patient with my son. And I allow him to do things and learn things. He's very curious. And I think that's something that surprised me. I didn't realize I was going to be that patient. You know?
Because you're not a patient person. Lauren, we know that.
No,
it depends. It depends.
Situation.
Yeah, situation.
So Major, get your patience.
Exactly.
We don't.
Yeah. Don't do that.
He's like y'all are grown. Okay.
Hey, don't.
So Lauren, what surprised you?
You know, I'm a little more laid back than I thought. I'm a laid back person, but I like routine. I like it my way. But I'm more like, I guess maybe because I'm on baby number 2. But with baby number 1 too, I've kind of been like, it'll happen. Like, oh, he just spit up. Oh, okay. You know, like, but that's not who I am as a person. When things happen, I'm like, okay, we got to find a solution. We got to do this. We got to do this.
Right.
So that really shocked me as a parent. I guess it's because I am a mom and a woman, and it came naturally to me. Being a mom, I've always wanted to be a nurturer. In the education field. So it was, but that was surprising to me because I was definitely knew I was going to be uptight. But one thing I told myself, and just keep this in mind, moms who are having babies, your way is not the only way.
That is so deep.
Yeah,
that is so deep. And coming from a woman, I embrace it.
No, really. I tell all of my girlfriends, friends, whoever listens, like, your way is not the only way. And I had to learn very early and very quickly that no, my husband is not going to do it how I do it. Changing the diaper, making the food, feeding them, doing it's not going to happen the way I do it, but it's going to get done.
Right. Preaching.
And to me, that was the most important, like, to get that help, and like it's getting done. I had to be like, okay, all right, it got done.
But I think that translates though. That translates to mothers who are married. That translates to mothers who are single. Translates to mothers who are in a blended family, or widow, divorce, whatever your situation may be. I think that translates to every mother, every parent, really. Like your way is not the only way. So sometimes connecting with your kid, or better yet, sometimes becoming a better parent, it's literally intentionally watching how somebody else does something, or reading about how something else can be done. That it's very important for parents to realize that you're not the first parent, you're not the only parent, and there's different ways to parent.
Yes.
Right? And so
that's especially with in-laws.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day. Granny was taking care of, looked like her great grandson, and her granddaughter come in. Is he okay? And the grandma yell at her daughter, "You gonna come get your daughter?" Like,
I saw that video.
Okay? Is he okay? Like, she don't know how to take care of babies.
Like I did this.
Right.
Plenty of times.
That's definitely something I've had a conversation with my wife about. Like, I know we like how to parent a certain way, but you have to understand, especially if you want support and help. You got to understand that people aren't going to do these things exactly how you want to do them.
Oh, especially grandparents.
No,
exactly.
Because grandparents, they're not trying to parent anymore.
Right. So, because here
so everything goes out the window.
For me, I never knew any of my grandparents. I never knew on either side. But my kids are blessed to have all of their grandparents, right? So, and same thing, like y'all's kids know their grandparents. Here's one thing I don't know about y'all, I had to learn quickly. Just something you just said. They tired of parenting. They gonna load them up on sugar. They gonna get them whatever they want. They gonna go against every rule you put down.
TV on,
every rule.
All that. Yep.
Like they get whatever they want, and they gonna send them back home. And like, okay, see y'all next time.
Right.
What? They had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like what? Like you would never let us get away with this.
Right.
Ever.
Get away with murder.
Right.
Like
they jumping on the couch.
Yeah.
Like you had plastic on the couch.
Like,
You couldn't even sit on that couch, right? Did y'all parents ever do that?
my grandparents.
Yeah. So I'll tell my parents a little bit older. They live it older, right? So like in the we had furniture we could sit on in the living room. In that dining room,
Don't touch it.
Don't you touch the furniture? And there's a china cabinet.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah, and the table stayed set, but you don't eat off that.
Right.
Get killed. But what are some traditions y'all think we have as younger parents? Like, what are some things y'all think we do? Like, we talk about our grandparents and our parents. There's just some things they were just kind of set in their ways. I think we're a little bit more progressive. I think parents now, of course, y'all know the thread speaks to parents with kids at every phase. Right. So I think people that have teenagers might be a little different, but those of us who have younger kids, I don't think we hold on to tradition as much. I think we focus more on like quality time spent.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is, how like we don't have to go to this house every Thanksgiving or do this every Christmas as long as we're together. Like what y'all think about that?
Right. I mean, especially, my wife and I, we moved from New Jersey to Texas, and we have my older brother and sister-in-law here. But outside of that, our grandparents, my son's grandparents are all in New Jersey. So holidays always gonna look different.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're going to camp out here in Dallas. Sometimes we're going to travel back home. But we just talked about we're not about to make every vacation a going back home trip. So we got to go.
Y'all drive.
We have driven, but me and my wife had a long conversation. We think the driving is done with.
Probably done.
Yeah.
No more.
No more. That's a 24-hour drive.
And y'all did it twice. Like going coming back, right? You had to drive there and drive back.
3 times.
Man.
Yeah. 3 times.
Yeah, bro. I was tired for you.
Yeah.
So do you and Josh, like, do y'all have some things y'all do?
So I'm a little.
Because y'all have old school families.
Yeah, and I'm a little old school.
Okay, cool.
But a little. It's a mixture to me. I'm not all the way old school. Josh is not.
Now, what about you is old school?
Like I like tradition.
Okay.
Now I don't necessarily has to be here every year at this time, but like I like I've had to recently. I like when everybody sits at the dinner table, and I've requested I need one meal at least 3 times a week where we all sit together and eat.
I think that's dope.
We did that as a family all the time.
Yep.
My husband, not so much here and there. They kind of just kind of ate wherever at TV, somebody at different times. It's just my time to connect for all of us to be together, and I want like our children to know that early because I feel like as they get older, they're gonna think, okay, and I'm not like don't eat over there, like that's me. Like I don't like that, but like I like being spontaneous and doing different things. Like I mean, even our family was talking about like after this year, like we need to just pick a place to go for vacations, like going on a beach or going to the cabins or something like that. So trying to get out of that tradition of we just sitting down watching the football game and doing that. So I'm a little bit of both.
Okay. So like we're having great conversation, and I hope that anybody who's watching the thread today or listening, and however you're listening, you may be at the gym, you may be at the house, you may be in the car, however you listen to the thread, I hope that you're being encouraged today, having this conversation about this whole new world of parenting, and you're listening to parents. We ain't been in the game a long time. Like we're new to this, and although my twins are 7, and I'm talking to 2 parents who have kids who are no older than 3. Like we are all new to this, and I think this type of conversation just helps every parent, every new parent know you're not in it by yourself.
Right.
And there's some things that you'll hold on to, some things you won't, some things you'll like, some things you'll find out somebody else does better than you. But that's what the thread is here, to be a resource to you. Now, once again, go to concorddallas.org/the thread and get anything we talk about and extra resources there to help along the way. And so before we get out of here, before we wrap up, I like to do this on every show, that I like for my guests to speak to the audience we're speaking to, right? And so what we're gonna do, I want Austin, I want you to speak a word of encouragement to new fathers, and Lauren, I want you to speak a word of encouragement to new mothers, just from your own experience, something that can help them
Yeah.
Just embrace where they are.
Yeah. I was talking to one of my boys 2 days actually, and he's a new father, similar to me. And one of the toughest times I had to deal with my son was when my wife had to go back to work, and it was just me and him. And that was probably one of the scariest times because he was getting breastfed and he ain't never take milk from a bottle before. But it was probably one of the greatest experiences I had with my son. It was when we truly bonded, and that's when I became dad. That was his first words, dad. We spent so much time together. And though at first it was scary, we had to figure that thing out. And there was a lot of crying, a lot of confusion, trying to do this, trying to do that. But we figured it out together. And that's one of the most precious memories I have. And if I was one additional word of encouragement, I would just say be present. I may not have the answers, but you just being there goes a long way.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll say, so I struggled with postpartum depression with both of my pregnancies. This last one more than I did with the first. So I would just say, just be intentional about your mental health. When you become a mom, you definitely are last in your head. You want to make sure that the house is good, the kids are fed, your husband's good, or your family, your work. But don't lose yourself in it, and ask for help. I'm a very private and prideful person, and I tried to do it all on my own, and I broke down. I couldn't. So I would just say, just be very intentional. After pregnancy, it's different. Life is different. Your body's different. So as a woman, just reach out for help. Definitely stay in your word. And that was my time to connect with God more than I ever have in my entire life. So just ask for help. You might not think you need it, but you do. Yeah. We always say, like, everyone says rest when the baby's sleeping, but you think you have to do all this stuff, but really rest. Take the time to it's okay for you to sleep. Like, you just carried a baby for so long, and you went through childbirth, and it's not easy. I went through natural childbirth, the hardest thing in my entire life. So you need to reset. So I would just say reset is my word for new moms.
You're such a G. Natural child. You're a G because you're a mother. Like, we're fathers, but we will never know what a mother goes through because y'all carry the baby. You deliver the baby, and there's a bond that you will always have with your kids that we will never have because we didn't have the honor and the privilege of carrying them inside of us. And I think, and that's why it's another podcast topic for another day, but I believe we should just really do a better job of honoring women and honoring mothers, because you guys do something that no other species on the planet can do, which is reproduce human life. So such a G for that natural birth, though. That's
give you some too.
That's gangster. And so, but here on the thread, y'all, we are building better parents to create stronger families. That's why the thread exists. That we have created this platform here at the Concord Church to touch the parents that are part of our family of faith, but also to touch parents everywhere, right? And we're doing it because we believe that if we build better parents, we can build stronger families. And every parent has the opportunity to help their child make each phase of their life count, right? And so here it is, something Austin just said. Be present. Be present. And we want to help you be present so you know you don't have to do everything. So you know that you can take advice from other places. And from new parents to all parents, you got this. You got this. I promise you do. All right? So make sure you check out the resource page on our website, concorddallas.org/the thread, and get all resources there. And make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure you get every new episode of the thread. Because I know you enjoying it. I mean, I know you are. It ain't conceit, it's confidence. I know you enjoying it. I know you feeling it. I see the subscriptions going up. I see the comments. I see it all. So I know you loving it. So keep loving it. Keep sharing. Share with somebody. Share an episode with somebody that you know. And it's not because Purvies is the host. You know, I'm a good host.
Look at it.
But it's because the show is a great show. It's a great podcast. It's a great YouTube show that you can get resources from. So from this time to the next time, keep loving God, keep loving people. Thank you to Austin. Thank you, Lauren. It's a joy, pleasure loving working with y'all. I love y'all so much. And y'all stay good. All right, love y'all. Till next time. Peace.